Rockville, Maryland, a beautiful city located in Montgomery County. And what is really cool about Rockville, Maryland is that a lot of walkable communities, but there are two of their most walkable neighborhoods are King Farm and Fallsgrove. And what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about each. We're going to score them actually across walkability, home types, prices, parks, transit, and everyday lifestyle. And spoiler alert, they're actually neighbors, so you really can't go wrong with either one of them, but let's get into it. Now, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Brittany Stinney. I'm a realtor, probably serving the DMV area. And again, today we're going to focus on two neighborhoods, specifically in Walkville, Maryland. And if you have more questions about either one, go ahead and drop the comments below. And if you're looking to move to Fallsgrove or King Farm, whether in the next 9 days or even in the next 90 days, all my contact information is right there. And I'm happy to help you make that smooth move to Fallsgrove or King's Farm. But let's get into it. Let's talk about it now and see which one might be the best fit for you. So first up, let's focus on the walkability, right? So King Farm is a classic new kind of street grid, if you will. So think like sidewalks and the King Farm Village Center, and even like they have their own private King Farm shuttle, which actually is going to loop residents to the Shady Grove Metro on weekdays. Now, not everybody can hop on. An ID is required to do that. Fallsgrove makes it very easy to do daily errands on foot. You have the Fallsgrove Village Center, which has grocery, dining, and other services nearby. And it's designed with connected sidewalks and paths through 80 plus acres, of open space. Now, if we're just comparing the two just in that area, both communities deliver a park once living. So you park and you do what you got to do to live in your neighborhood and your community. So actually in this area, both communities are tied. Now let's talk about our next area of critique, if you will, and that is the home types and age of homes. Let's start off with King Farm. Now King Farm is a mix of single family homes, townhomes, condos, and apartments. Now these are a little bit newer, but most of them kind of started in the late 1990s, in the early 2000s. And if you've been following my channel for a little bit, you know there's a good amount of construction coming up in the King Farm area with two major builders, Pulte as well as EYA, building out some really nice condos and townhomes in King Farm. Now Fallsgrove was actually mainly constructed by EYA, and they built around 374 homes, mainly townhomes, courtyard homes, and even patio homes, as well as some single family homes. And it's all a planned community development. So far, both communities, again, have taken score. They're kind of neck and neck, right? So they really do tie in this regard as well. Both communities offered varied product types. King Farm is going to be slightly larger overall, but Fallsgrove in some areas are newer. Well, I wouldn't even say that. Actually, they're both new because like I said, there's so much new construction coming up in King Farm right now. So basically you're going to get newness in both areas. Now let's talk about prices and let's kind of see how they compare. Prices of homes. So in King Farm, the median sale price is around $700,000, right? Now Fallsgrove, the median sale price is around $965,000. Now there is a little bit of a smaller sample size, and the detached inventory kind of makes that number go up, but there are also properties in the King Farm area that do go well above that 700K mark and into the high nines and even the millions. So you do definitely get some variability of prices between the two communities. So if we had to give scores in these areas, King Farm is actually where you're going to find a broader mix of price ranges. So you can find the 600K range to 800K and up. You can find that range, where Fallsgrove can fall a little bit on the pricier end if you're talking about the community overall. There's not as much of a price range as what you're going to see in King's Farm. All right, now for our next round, if you will, if you're thinking about like a little boxing match, but let's talk about parks, recreation, and just green space. Now, King Farm does have a good amount of parks with a lot of acreage. One park in particular has 26 acres, and that includes tennis, pickleball, dog parks, and fields. Plus you have the King Farm Park, which is 12 acres with fields, courts, pavilion, and playgrounds. Now Fallsgrove has Fallsgrove Park, which has 30 acres, and that includes courts, gazebos, playground, picnic areas, as well as access to Thomas Farm Community Center, which can offer like a gym and classes and various drop-in sports. If you're looking at it for both communities in terms of amenities and parks and recreations, they do tie again, meaning they're both kind of neck and neck in terms of what is offered in each community. Now let's talk another way that both these communities are kind of neck and neck, if I'm honest, and that is schools. Both schools are zoned for Montgomery County Public Schools, and if we talk specifically about the high school, both are generally within the Richard Montgomery cluster. Now, you always want to make sure you verify your street address with the school zone because there are some discussions about rezoning, and if you move to a certain area, that could change specifically in both King Farm and Fallsgrove. So make sure you look into that before you make that move. If schools are important to you. Now, if schools are important to you, carry on with your life. All right, so let's get into another area where you might want to compare the two neighborhoods to see what is a good fit for you, and not just transportation, but really the commute, right? To DC or Northern VA or wherever you're going. So King Farm is just a walk or ride to Shady Grove Metro Red Line. And the cool thing about King Farm is they actually have a King Farm shuttle, which takes you to the metro. They have a weekday loop. Your ID is required, as I mentioned earlier, but the Rockville and Twinbrook stations are nearby and they're on the Red Line. So you also have easy reach to 270, 370, as well as MARC and or Amtrak from the Rockville station. Now, Fallsgrove does have multiple ride-on routes on the Shady Grove Road and Medical Center Drive, and there's also a stop behind the Fallsgrove Village Center. You're only a short drive or bus route to Rockville or Shady Grove Route Line stations, and you also have quick access to 270 as well as ICC, otherwise known as MD 200, right? So again, if we're placing scores, right, King Farm just wins us just a smidge in terms of transportation, mainly because they have the shuttle, which is a pretty cool feature. Last up, let's talk about everyday errands and employment access. Which community is a better fit for that? So with King Farm, you have the Village Center. You also have a quick link to the Shady Grove employment area. If you were to walk to the metro and the free shuttle, it's about a 8 to 12 minute walk, so it's not that bad. Fallsgrove has the Fallsgrove Village Center and close proximity to hospitals, the life science cluster, which is office center, hotel, and service clusters, and those are going to be really close to the neighborhood. So again, they're kind of neck and neck. King Farm edges a little bit closer just because they have access to the metro, but then Fallsgrove kind of wins because Fallsgrove kind of takes the lead in a different way because they're closer to the life sciences area. So overall, what do they have in common? In both communities, you're going to get walkability, mixed use design with a true village center feel. You're going to have diverse housing options beyond just single family homes because you're going to have townhomes, condos, as well as rental units. Both neighborhoods have big parks plus community facilities within minutes, and then you have red line access within just a short bus, bike, or drive. If they have so many similarities, how are you going to choose which one? Well, of course, it just depends on what's important to you. Now, you're going to choose King Farm if you want the easiest red line connection in a neighborhood that just feels like a small town with a dedicated metro shuttle, and it gives you a broader mid-price spread, so you're going to find more of a range. Now, you're going to choose Fallsgrove if you love being next to the hospital, life sciences hub, and you want that village center convenience, and you're eyeing a specific product type of home that you might see specifically in Fallsgrove. So overall, if we were to keep score, King Farm wins a little bit in terms of just having that shuttle and some newer homes coming to the community in a different price range, but Fallsgrove has so much to offer as well, from restaurants and the community vibe and all those good things. So as always, you also want to think about when you're buying a home, HOA, condo fees, and those considerations when you're thinking about specific address, as well as if you're looking at schools, as we mentioned, make sure you verify your address with the school boundary because boundaries do change. But there you have it. We talked about Fallsgrove as well as King Farm. And if you want to check out my channel for videos where I specifically talk about each neighborhood, Fallsgrove and King Farm and their own separate little spiel, feel free to check that out. If you have any questions, drop it below. If there's anything you're like, oh man, I wish she had talked about, just drop it in the comments. And if you're looking to find out more about either community in Rockville, Maryland, contact information is right there. Now, of course, if you found this helpful, give your girl a thumbs up so I know I'm bringing you the type of content that you like to see. But other than that, I will see you on the next one.